Hi, it's Martin and welcome to another video on my Knit365 YouTube channel. Today's video is episode 6 of my vlogtober mini-series where I try to update you as I'm going throughout October and share all of my crafting adventures. So, as I'm recording this, it is currently about 4:30, I think. It's about 4:30 on Sunday evening, and I've not done a lot of filming this part of the this week so far. Mark is here. If you hear any noise in the background, Mark is prepping roast dinner. We are very British and we have to have a roast dinner every Sunday. So we have roast chicken today, of course. So that might be some of the noise that you can hear in the background. I think I recorded tiny snippets, but not a lot. So what we're going to do in the edit, I think it's going to be short, so brace yourselves. I'm going to put the footage in now, and then I will be back to talk to you. But as I said, I'm not even sure I've got a minute. But let's put that footage in now. So I'm just checking in to do the introduction. There has been no more knitting since you saw the shawl. I'll just pop my tote bag on. Spoiler for those, you know the drill now. So there's been no more knitting from what I did at the end of the clue. So I'm definitely not... I stayed up to date for week 1 and 2, which was really good for me, but I'm not going to stay up to date. I know I won't. But I've not long got home from band. Mark is in London. He's away with work. So we now pick up stitches here, and then we come down and we do another panel. So I think I go to here. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 panels to go. So if by the end of Wednesday, so before the next clue comes out, I can have finished these panels and started the next one, I'm okay with that, because I then got to do the slip stitch bit. But we've also got a quiet weekend. The nieces are coming this weekend. Niece 1 and niece 2. Niece 1 is coming Friday. Niece 2 is coming Saturday. We've got them both in Saturday. So I've got like a lazy weekend planned. So I'm hoping we'll be okay. So I'm gonna be a couple of days behind, I think. But it is 10:30. My mum, I don't know where she got these from, but my mum has bought us pumpkin spice latte coffee sachets. I've just come home from band and I can never just go to bed. So it is 10:20, but I'm wide awake because I've just driven for 45 minutes. I've had a 2-hour rehearsal. So I'm going to take myself off to bed. I'm rewatching The Crown. So I'm on episode 3 of season 1. So I'm really early in the rewatch. So I'm going to take myself off to bed. I'm going to do an hour of knitting. I'm going to have a pumpkin spice latte. Fear not, for those of you saying don't drink caffeine, because I kind of can drink a cup of coffee and then just go to sleep. It probably says something about the amount of caffeine I drink. But I'm going to have one of these, and it feels like it's a milky latte, so it might be good before bed. So I'm going to have one of those. I'm going to do an hour of knitting, and then I'll be back to let you know what goes on in the rest of this video. But bit of a long introduction. If you're new here, hi. If you've just stumbled upon this video, where have you been? It's Vlogtober. It's my version of Vlogtober where I film a little every day, or try to, and then edit it together when I've got 20 minutes of footage. There's previous episodes of Vlogtober, so go and check those out. If you want some more regular knitting content, there will be lots of roundup videos on my channel that you can go and find out a bit more about who I am. I am a knitter who can crochet. I crocheted that head on the wall. That is Morag. If you're a return viewer though, of course, thank you so much for giving me a bit of your time today. I really appreciate you popping in. So I'm going to go, because I turned the kettle off to record for you. So I'm going to go and boil the kettle. I'm going to make my coffee. and I'm going to go to bed. And I will pop back in the morning and show you how much knitting I get done in my hour. I don't think I'll get a whole strip done. We'll see. So let's go. Let's go with this episode. With I don't know what number it is. Hello. So in the 1 hour, I managed 3 colours. So we picked up stitches here in this grey, then we did the yellow, and we did my colour A, the dark grey. I also managed this colour, and I managed the entire panel. It's now 10 to midnight. I was just watching the end of the episode. I was like, right, I'm going to go to bed, and I managed to pull my needle out. Which meant, as I pulled my needle out, the stitches where you're knitting 2 together by slipping them started to unravel. So I had to very slowly then unravel row by row until I could pick up the slip stitch to secure it. So I have now done that, but it does mean I think I've got an extra stitch. I need to check. My iPad's dead, so I can't check my stitch count. I think I might have 1 extra stitch, which I'll just fudge it. But annoyingly, I had done this panel as well. I was attaching to this bit. So tomorrow morning when I woke up, I just had to do the final section to join over the yellow. But I now have 2 sections to do tomorrow because I pulled my needle out. So I'm going to go to bed. If you're looking for the review, I really loved my pumpkin spice latte. And see, I'm yawning, so tired. So caffeine doesn't keep me awake. But I now have lots of yarn where I had to undo that. So yeah, good night. I will chat to you in the morning. That was more. Yeah, it's been a week. It's been a real week. Work has been crazy busy. I've also hurt my neck, and I've not really done a lot of crafting, and I've not really felt like crafting, which is why I've been a bit quiet on the filming front. The hotel that we were in, I think I've strained my neck. The hotel that we were in last weekend in Glasgow had like a bed that reclined and went up. So you could turn it into like a sofa and actually sit on it, and then it reclined down for the bed. Great space saver. But I think on one of the mornings, I was knitting in bed while we were watching telly. That looked like eating, didn't it? No, definitely knitting. And I think we kind of had it at an angle that meant that I was kind of doing this. And I think I was holding my head up as I was knitting. And I've kind of jarred my head. So I've been taking tablets and trying to keep moving, and yeah, and it's getting easier, but I've had a bit of an injury. We'll call it a knitter's injury. But yeah, that's kind of taken a bit of my headspace because I've kind of been in a bit of pain, literally, the headspace. Yeah, so I've not done a massive amount of filming because of that. But the one thing we did do that we ended the week on, as you saw, some very, very short clips. We had the kids over, so the eldest 2. So for those of you that have been following along for a while, you'll know that we have 3 nieces and a nephew. We have niece 1, niece 2, then nephew 1, then niece 3. And the oldest 2 are soon to be 11, I know, and 8. And they're just the best they're just so much fun. And I was going to try and do bits of filming with them here, and it was just so full on. We really just didn't have a lot of time. It was really nice to be in the moment, having family time. So we went bowling, We went for pizza, and then we came back. We watched Strictly. They were doing TikTok dances. There is currently a YouTube short, which I'll link below if you haven't yet seen it, of them doing the Elphaba Glinda. It was from last year's Wicked promo, but niece one was singing it. And then I said, oh, I filmed that with Kitey. So I showed them my version. And then niece two wanted to learn it too. So they started learning. Then we were like, well, should we just film it when we get home? So we did. Of course, to come on the YouTube, it needed knitwear in it to be on brand. So I grabbed some shawls and off we went. So that was so much fun. It took me about 2 hours to edit that. So we watched Strictly Come Dancing. I had one earphone in as I was sitting on the sofa. They were dancing around and doing other dances and piggybacks, and they were like, can you and Mark film that? I was like, it's very complicated, and we're not dancers. So yeah, we didn't. But it took about 2 hours to edit that together. But like, they're so much fun. And they're mad, honestly. They're like, we dropped them to my mum's. So they've been to Nano and Bam Bam's then this afternoon. Mark and I got back in the car, we were like, silence. It was lovely. Love having them, but they were a lot. So that was fun. So that's kind of basically been the week. I've had band this week. Playing was really hard on Thursday with my neck. Did I mention I had a bad neck? Mark is sick of hearing about the pain in my neck. Knitter's neck. Oh my God, yeah, knitter's neck. Yeah, so I've got knitter's neck, which I just keep taking the tablets. As soon as I take painkillers, boom, gone. And I'm free and easy, and yes. So we'll see. I'm definitely better than I was at the beginning of the week. So we're on our way. But yeah, that's kind of the week. It's just been a lot. Work has been really, well, what are you doing?
Sorry, I was cutting some broccoli.
That was very loud. Sorry. What was that? Broccoli?
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, it's been a bit of a week. I'll show you my MCAL in a moment. I am behind, but I am not that far behind. And considering it's only 4:30. Did I say it was 4:30? Is it about that, please? I haven't got a watch on. Just 4:30. So I will finish the bit that I set myself a little target for today, and I'll finish my target today, which is good. But I've also had some yarny posts this week, so I thought I would show that off in today's episode. So a friend of the podcast, Anton, from the Raw Wool Company. I had Anton's advent last year. I did the mystery. I did his test knit mosaic socks a few episodes ago. Anton has his own flock, and the part of the ethos around Anton's brand is wool as the sheep intended. Which means there's like the most gorgeous natural colours, and they're just beautiful. And the wool is lovely to knit with. I said I had his advent last year, and I made Exploration Station with it, and it's just, it's the perfect neutral shawl. Anton's now had his first issue of fibre. So, of course, I had to get some to support local business, but also because I'm a spinner. So this is a stormy night. Look at that colour. Like, it's got a bit of a sheen on it in the picture, and it has that sheen in real life. It is gorgeous. So this is 100% British Wensleydale. My God, it is so, honestly, it is so. Oh, you haven't felt this yet. I've now got it in my mouth. Live reaction cam. Yeah, very soft. Very soft? I'm not going to put him on a review program anytime. Very soft. He's a man of many words. The other side of the camera. I'm now covered in fluff. So we've had this one. So this is a stormy night. And then I also picked up this one. So there were two different releases of fibre. So this is then the dark rum. And that is gorgeous. Oh, honestly. So this is 70% British Zwartbulls. I butchered that. And 30% British Wensleydale. So let me... So I believe, again, these are the breeds that Anton's got. And the Zwartbulls is a rare, one of the rare breeds. And again, oh, it's gorgeous. So I don't know what they're going to be, but they'll be something. And they'll, for now, just based on where I am and all the things I've got on, they'll probably go in my fibre stash. And we'll spin them into something at some point. But yeah, they're going to be gorgeous. Like, they won't be able to be socks. Because I'm not... Oh, I was going to say I'm not good enough at spinning sock yarn, but I wouldn't spin sock yarn, would I? I'd spin like a double knit. But I think they're too good to be socks because I would wear through them quite quickly. Maybe a hat of some kind. Oh, that could be the thumbnail for this week. Oh, Princess Leia. So, if you don't know anything about the Wool Company, I will link Anton's Instagram, website, and he has a YouTube where he talks about the sheep. There are videos of the lovely sheep there. He talks about some of the patterns that he designs. So I'll pop all of Anton's details below if you want to go and check that out. But that was nice because despite Mark saying that I'm always buying wool, I haven't bought a lot. Outside, don't pull that face at me. He's pulling a face.
Okay, so technically once you've spun that, it then becomes wool. So effectively it's...
Well, yeah, it will become wool when I've spun it, but what I mean is I haven't bought wool outside of the yarn shows. You
bought wool in its raw sense.
All right, but I mean I haven't bought things outside of going to a yarn show. I've been very refined. Refined? No, reserved. I've been very reserved lately, which is good. Still love my Mickey Stanley. I had too big a slurp, sorry. So yeah, go and check Anton's details out below. The other thing I was going to show off, which depending on how much progress I make, I'll show you my MCAL now. I might get my spinner out in a little bit. No reaction. I might get the spinner out because I got some Halloween fibre from Yarndale. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me go and grab the Halloween fibre. Yeah, I think I'm back. Hi. I think I showed this off. So I met a new to me producer at Yarndale called Auspicious Stitch. And I cannot remember the lady's name, so I'm really sorry if you ever watch this video. But the lady it was her very first show, I believe. She got a bursary from, so I think you can apply, new vendors can apply to Yarndale to vend as part of their support for new businesses. And Auspicious Stitch got in on the bursary. And they had this gorgeous, that is my colours, is it not? Look at that. Ooh, that tealy petrol grey. Lovely. So they had this gorgeous fibre, which I picked up. I think this might be my only purchase at Yarndale, actually. So maybe I didn't do a Yarndale video, did I? And it was in September, not October, so you wouldn't have seen it in vlogtober. Anyway, I bought that. But what I also bought was this bag of Halloween bits. So, bag of bits, Halloween. I can't read it in reverse, sorry. 300 gram mystery mix of fibres, mostly wool. So, I really liked the Halloween-y colours of this. And as it's coming to the end of Vlogtober, I wonder if I might do a little Sunday night spinning. I might be disciplined. I might just set myself a timer and spin for an hour and see how far I get. Because I'm going to do the next section on my mystery knit along. And then, which I'll show you in a moment. And then I might have a little break and I might get the e-spinner out. But within here, so it's all Halloween colours. So we've got this really nice, oh, that's soft. That must be sari silk. Oh, that's definitely silk. Oh, I wish you could feel that. Oh my, oh. That's really nice. And then we've got this little bits of orange, obviously some black. The lady I was chatting to, I need to watch this. So she was saying if I was going to card it up and make bats of my own, I could like sprinkle some of these. But these are all like little bits, so I won't probably use this. I'll probably carefully take this out of the bag and then put it at the bottom of the bag because I don't think I can spin that in. So we'll leave that little bit of fibre, whatever that is. But yeah, it's like some gorgeous little black. And I don't have a blending board, but what inspired me was just having a bag of things. And I might just try and see about taking the purples and the sari silk, and I'll blend, as I'm spinning, I'll just grab bits of the sari, I think, and just put it through the spinner with the purple. So I might try and do 2 bobbins, and I might try and do a purple bobbin and then an everything else bobbin. So we've got this really nice orangey colour here. So I think I'm going to have a little play with that this evening. Have a bit of a break from MCal, because I was writing tomorrow's written blog. I have a Substack, if you don't know. I have a weekly blog where I write general musings, and I was writing tomorrow's blog earlier this morning. And I don't think I've knit on anything in October apart from MCal. So I might just have a little break. And I might just do a little bit of spinning. But I think it'll be quite nice. I can just set an hour or an hour and a half and just see how far I get. I probably won't finish it. I definitely won't ply it up. But it'll be nice to start in October and then just have a little go at spinning through all of this and make kind of Halloween-inspired yarn. So stay tuned in the next episode of Vlogtober. I'll try and film a little bit. So stay tuned to see how that develops. But go and check out Auspicious Stitch as well. A new vendor, new small business to support. You know we love doing that here on the channel. So I might do that. Do we think that I'm looking for approval now because that's me. Is that too much to do? Like to start a brand new spin?
No, I don't see why not.
You know when you're telling yourself that you've got too many other things, then you shouldn't be doing it, but sometimes you just want to start something frivolous. Mark is very grounding. Like, he doesn't ground me. He probably would ground me, though, if I, haven't done my chores.
You wouldn't listen.
I would listen. You're not allowed to go to band. No, he wouldn't ground me and tell me I wasn't allowed to go to band. He'd be like, can you go to band, please, and give me some peace and quiet? But he's very grounding. He's like, are you really starting something new? Do you think that's the best use of your time? Yes, I do. Or, no, I don't. So I'll have a little go on that. So, MCal-wise then, let's catch you up on where we've got to. So, the final clue is here. Oh, my word. So, Thursday came, and I had a few hours off work in the morning. I was off to launch this year's Poppy Appeal with the Royal British Legion. So, my brass band... we were asked to go and play some hymns and anthems as part of the parade that they had in our local area. And when I arrived at the location, the MCal was there, and I'd forgotten that it was the final clue day. So I did jump to the end and I was like, oh. So if you haven't yet, I'm not going to show any spoilers of the finished project. If you want to go and see the spoilers, head over to Stephen's YouTube page and you can see the finished clue. All I will say for the spoiler is it is a massive brioche border. It doesn't look a complicated brioche border. There's no shaping. It just looks like brioche stripes. So a little bit like exploration station. So I'm feeling okay about the brioche option, but massive brioche border. It means the shawl itself will be asymmetrical, which I'm not sure we've had. I need to go and get all the others and have a look at them, but I was chatting to Kitey, and I don't think we've had an asymmetrical shawl. Certainly not in, like, we've had shawls like Twist and Turns in different shapes, but it's symmetrical with the wingtips and Starflake. They all go in a shape, but I think this might be the first asymmetrical one. I'm not sure if it's the first one ever, but it's the first one that I've made. So I'm really excited to get it finished. But because of my neck, I have had a couple of nights where I've not done any knitting. So I'm still on clue 3, but I'm not doing bad. So when you saw it last time, so let's have a recap on where I am. We'll hide that bit for a minute. So there's the scallops that we did in clue 1 with the brioche. So we've got the grey and the yellow, and then on the reverse, the yellow and grey. Then from the scallops, we came into this lovely kind of wavy section that is short rows down here, and then they get longer and wider. So we love that stitch definition. And obviously my colours, you can see from afar, my colours are predominantly grey and yellow. Bit of a recap, just in case you are new and this is the first video on the channel that you're watching. So predominantly my colours are grey and yellow. I'm using the new Hex base by Stephen and Penelope. But I have added some flash of blue into the scallops. So that was the flash of blue in clue 1. And then we had a little flash of blue in clue 2. Although Mark has now said, I think it sure looks more blue than grey and yellow, but I think it's grey and yellow. I'm okay with that. So, clue 3, which I started then last weekend in Glasgow, I am on the final repeat. Oh, those colours, look. That's proper grey and yellow. Look at that. It does look so striking. So the final clue, clue 3, the first part of clue 3, is you pick up stitches along the welt edges, so in between the welts. And then you do this really lovely kind of, I think they're officially parallelograms. They're not chevrons. What does he call them? They're not diamond. He calls them something in the pattern, but they're really, really lovely. So I've got one strip to go down the edge. So I pick up into here. So as you can see, this section is predominantly just grey and yellow. What I am going to do though is the next parallelogram up here is going to be in blue. So in clue 3, we'll have one little nod to the blue here, and then the rest of them will just be in the greys and yellows. And I haven't put any mohair in. I wanted it a really flat texture because I think it really just shows off the stitch definition of this section. And I know some of you will ask, because you like to see the reverse of the shawl. So if I show you the back, I've been weaving in my ends as I'm going, doing the weaving Stephen technique that Stephen talks about. So they're all woven in as I'm going. I just need to now snip them. But what I really like is how pretty the reverse is, where what you're doing on the right side is you're knitting down here, and then you're slipping, you're picking up a stitch each time you come down, and you knit 2 together. And those knit 2 togethers are giving this really, really lovely kind of spine. And I think the reverse is equally, if not a little bit more, prettier because of that kind of, that little 3D texture. So I'm really, really happy. So my plan today is to finish this part of the clue. And then we've got that mosaic slip stitch section that seems a little bit divisive, and some people are liking it and some people not so much. But I would love to get to that section by the end of today. So that's my plan, is to try and do now another hour or so of knitting, maybe 2 hours. We'll see how long it takes. that'll be the next episode, to finish this final line. And then if I get that finished at a reasonable hour, I will then start some spinning. But I want to finish this first. So there's no spinning until this is done. That's my plan. So there may not be any spinning. It depends on how much chatting I do with Mark and how whether I can get this finished. But I want to get this done, and then I can just move on to the mosaic section. And I was on my YouTube membership live this week, and there was a lady called Katie on there who has finished this week's clue, and she had finished on, so that was Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever night it was. Katie had finished and said, actually, that section, whilst it looks a lot of knitting, actually gets smaller, because I think each time you do the repeat, you decrease 4 stitches. So whilst you have a lot of stitches to go to start with, all of a sudden you finish and you're just on 20 stitches. So the rows do get quicker. So if I can finish that by midweek would be a great plan. And then I can then start the final border. Which then, what I believe we do is this section here, we come up and over. So these live stitches, we're going to do the brioche border over the top of this section, and then down into this section, and then on the top of that. So it's a big border in brioche. But I think it's easy brioche, as I said, because it's brioche panels, and then I think there's garter stitch in between. So you have a brioche section, then you've just got a couple of rows of knitting, then another brioche section, a couple of rows, and then it's down to you then as to how much you customize it, whether you do 2 repeats, 3 repeats, 4 repeats, etc. So we will see how we get going tonight, but I'm not doing too bad. And based on the last 2 years or the last 3 years, I've been really behind by this point. So I'm actually feeling really good, despite having neck pain. And it's actually hurting a little bit. Now I'm standing up and dancing, and I should be sitting down gently. But despite not doing a lot of knitting this week, I'm actually not that far behind. I'm quite pleased with myself, if that's not too braggy. So yeah, there we go. That is MCAL. So I just thought I'd pop on. I said I didn't do a lot of filming, but you've seen those little bits that I did do. All 30 seconds or whatever it's likely to be. But yeah, it's been a fun week. When does October finish, please, Mark? Do you know? What date is it today? Is it the 26th?
It's the 26th.
Finishes Thursday, so there'll be one more Vlogtober episode, which I'll probably do Thursday or Friday just to close the month off. I mentioned my memberships, so I have a membership here on YouTube if you're able to join the Bear Den and you want a little bit of extra behind the scenes Martin content. I'll put the link below where you'll see a link to the join, and you can find out a little bit more about what you can expect over there in the Bear Den. It would be lovely to have you if you're able to come and support the channel in that way. You get a monthly knit night if you're in the Grizzly Bear tier. But there's also then a separate video. So this video is going live Monday. So for those of you watching, the Bear Den video is usually going to be the last Monday of every month. But just because of where we are with Vlogtober, that video will probably be Wednesday. That's my plan, is to get that membership video up on Wednesday night. But check out the details below if you want to come and find out a bit more about what goes over there what goes on over there in the Bear Den. That's what I meant. So I'm going to wrap this video up now. I'm going to go and carry on with my shawl knitting. Mark is cooking dinner. Oh, I'm starving now. We've got an hour and a half at least, maybe 2 hours, before the roast chicken's available. Oh, actually, that could be my plan. So if in the next 2 hours before the roast dinner, I can finish that part of the clue, once I've had my roast dinner, I can then spend an hour doing some spinning. Can you hold me to account on that, please? He's very good. Thank you. He's playing on his phone now and just blatantly ignoring me. It's fine. But I hope that you are all well. I hope you've had a good week and haven't had any neck pain like me.
Have you got a neck injury?
I've got a neck injury. Did I mention?
Really? Never.
I have a very good friend who's a doctor. And I don't know if they publicly talk about being a doctor. So I'm not going to mention who it is. But they've been brilliant at giving me advice and pills and creams. And so I don't need, with all respect, I don't need neck advice. I'm just telling you I've got a bad neck that stopped my production. But I've had some actual medical advice from a very good doctor. And I'm obeying doctor's orders because I wasn't taking anything. It'll be fine, it'll go. And now I'm under the doctor and I'm doing what I'm meant to do. So yes, that's been my week basically, but I hope that you've had a good week. Let me know where you are. If you are doing Mission Knit Along, let me know where you are in the process. Are you now onto clue 4? Are you doing the brioche option? Are you doing the garter stitch option? What do you think of the overall shape? Also, if any of you've done Mission Knit Along before, let me know if there's been another asymmetrical one, because as I'm chatting out loud to you, I can't think of a time when we've had another asymmetrical one. But I'd love to know if anyone can remember if we have. So I'll be back probably Thursday or Friday. I've got a weekend away with band. We've got a competition that I'm playing in. I've got a solo to play. So I will try and get the final vlogtober video up probably Friday evening. And then we'll probably keep more regular videos going through November because, you know, Vlogmas is coming. So we'll maybe just like drop it to maybe 1 or 2 a week rather than three a week, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? So yeah, thank you very much for watching tonight. Hope you have a good week ahead of you, and you have a lovely Monday if you're watching this now as it's just gone up. And yeah, thank you very much for being here, and until we speak again, happy crafting.